Hey y'all, welcome to Tristian Circa 89, where I obsess over pop culture so you don't have to. Today I want to get on here and talk about the fate of the fan favorite character from Scream 4, Kirby Reed. We do get an answer in this new Scream film, Scream 2022, about the fate of Kirby, but I want to just kind of jump back a little bit just to talk about some of the things that people really loved about her in Scream 4. So I remember in the buzz leading up to Scream 4, I would obsessively read her character description, and she's described as cute and quirky, was a tomboy until a year ago. Now she's alternative, cool, and sexy. Jill's best friend. She's a pop culture, horror aficionado, and a nerdy film geek. So after reading that initial description of Kirby, so many of us were so hyped. We were like, okay, so she's like a female version of Randy, which we thought would be so cool and so different compared to the original Scream series. And then once the movie came out, what I thought was really cool is that she was, I would say, a combination of Randy and Tatum until you get to the end, and then she almost seems to take on some final girl traits like Sydney. So suffice it to say, Kirby was a huge fan favorite. We loved her. We loved Hayden Panettiere's portrayal of her. And we were all shocked by the idea of her dying. You know, we see Charlie stab her, and the last time we see her, she's still moving, but she is bleeding out very badly. And in the commentary for Scream 4, even Wes Craven pointed out that, hey, Kirby's still moving. And even in the final version of the film, we hear the door in Kirby's basement open and close. And we never find out where that sound came from. It could have been Jill, but I really don't think it was Jill. So anyway, we've spent years, a decade, theorizing what happened to Kirby, and in Scream 5, we find out. So there's a scene in which Sam, our new final girl, calls her boyfriend Richie to tell him that there has been murders at the Hicks house, that Judy and Wes Hicks have been murdered. We see Richie watching a YouTube video about the release of Stab 8, and there's a blink if you miss it moment that on the side of the screen you see the next video that's going to load, and it says interview with Kirby Reed. So we get this small confirmation that Kirby is in fact still alive. I also found out that Radio Silence, they had actually spoken to Hayden Panettiere about coming back, and it looks like due to scheduling, due to rewrites, it just didn't work out, and they didn't want to bring her back just very briefly and not have it really service the fans in the way that they wanted to. So they decided, okay, we'll just do this quick insert. Let's say there's a video interview just to let fans know, hey, we couldn't get her back necessarily for this one, but just know she's still out there, still alive and kicking. So I cannot tell you how happy I am about that. I know the entire fandom has gone crazy. I know Hayden Panettiere has always said she's down to come back. Again, Radio Silence, the guys who made this Scream film, they want her to come back. So I really do think that they're going to do their best to get her back in Scream 6. And like I said, it really helps that the actress is down and ready to play this character again. You know, as I sat here and thought about what would Kirby be doing nowadays, I could definitely see her. You know, and I said this before. I think I would bet money that in the Scream universe they have Stab conventions, just like Comic Con. There's probably Stab Con or something like that. So I would love to see Kirby come back to maybe be on a panel with Mindy. Maybe we see those two interact, and maybe that's how Kirby gets pulled back into the action. I'm going to do a separate video about the opening kill for Scream 6, because I really do think if we want to have a throwback to the opening kill from Scream 2, I think, okay, how can we stage another event where there will be a bunch of people dressed as Ghostface? A Stab convention, StabCon, is the natural choice for that. You know, maybe, and not only that, maybe even multiple people, maybe multiple opening kills happening all at once. Imagine this: you get a call from Ghostface, you're at StabCon, all these people are dressed as Ghostface, this person is threatening you. You don't know who's really coming after you, who's just a bystander dressed as Ghostface, who's the actual Ghostface coming after you. I would love to see an opening scene, maybe even a fake out where it opens with Mindy and Kirby and we think something's going to happen to them, but something ends up happening to fans. And again, it would just be so creepy. It would be just such a great throwback to the original opening for Scream 2, because again, at a Stab Con, I imagine people fake deaths all the time. Like, oh, look, he's being attacked. Oh no, they're just really reenacting the movie. So it would be a great callback, but just something completely different. So yes, Kirby Reed is alive. I'm really hoping we see her in Scream 6 doing the the stab con circuit, just like we see celebrities going to different comic cons, doing events, doing signings, doing panels. I could totally see Kirby doing that, maybe even writing a book, maybe even being some kind of filmmaker, especially because I just found out in reading the original Scream 5 script that Mindy wanted to be a filmmaker and they're so similar. So maybe they could even team up on like a screenplay. It's just something like that. But I just really want to see where Kirby is, what she's doing, and how she reacts to another Ghostface killings. I feel like she lived and had that original Scream 5 that Kevin Williamson wanted to make with Jill in college, I think that Wes Craven would have really pushed for Kirby to survive and be in that film. Kevin Williamson recently said on a podcast that in his plan for Scream 5, Kirby was not alive. It was Jill in college and a Ghostface killer finding out what she had done in Scream 4. And I'm going to make a separate video about that. But I really do think that Wes Craven, if he had had his way, which I think he would have gotten his way, Kirby would be alive, and I think she would have evolved into our final girl, our hip, pop culture savvy final girl, which would have been a great evolution of the final girl to see her be just as witty, just as smart, just as clever as the killer, because then the killers have to work extra hard to take her down. So again, Kirby Reed is alive. I cannot say that enough. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Please share your comments. What do you guys think about Kirby being alive? What do you think will happen when she shows up in Scream 6? I'm speaking it into existence. She's going to be in Scream 6, and we're going to love it. So again, drop down below, guys. Tell me what you think. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.